How do you walk with that girth worm? Holy. We're gonna have to look at the last boss. Last one.
With a limp?
Better than the last commercial. Holy.
Yeah, we can watch the other video.
Oh yeah, the first one.
Yeah, so you can see the last. No, let's watch this one. Then you can see the other two bosses.
Okay.
Double limp.
What's up? I'm Jim Pro, and
What
this is the Ready Check Full
Matthew?
Guide to the Coiled Altar on Normal and Heroic. This fight is 3 phases with a short intermission
like a
between
crutch?
phase 2 and 3. It's a mix of single target and 2
Yeah, I
target
actually
cleave,
stand on
and
my
you
third
bloodluster in the damage amp in the intermission. Listen, this is a massive step up from the previous bosses. In phase
Shaman
1,
is
you're
up to
fighting Zul'Jan while
263
collecting
now.
orbs, which you'll destroy with the tank frontal. In phase
Nice.
2, you're fighting Hexlord and Malacrast while stacking up ghosts, which you'll destroy with the new tank frontal. Then there's an intermission where you bloodlust and blast Zul'Jan while Malacrast is resurrecting him. Then that all finally culminates in fighting Zul'Jan and Malacrast at the same time,
Because
which is
Zul'Jan again?
basically phase 1 and 2 happening together.
Just started
Before we
this
jump into
ish
the
like
fight, we have a few
1.5 days
assignments
ago,
first.
lol.
Drop
Hell
the
no.
players at the start
Yeah, they
and
come.
end of the platform for the ghost frontals in phase 2 and 3. You need 2 mobile players to be your orb picker-uppers for phase 1 and 3. On Heroic in phase 2, there's an ad that needs 2 or 3 players to rotate interrupts. And on Heroic, split your raid in half for the guillotine group soaks. You'll start by pulling the boss right where he's at in the middle of the platform.
Shit,
The
good.
first thing he does is channel Fangs of the Coiled Altar, which is big raid-wide
That's fire.
damage for a few seconds and spawns 2 big poison pools on the left and right of the platform that shrink over time.
Ba-ding,
Healers need to be
ba-ding,
ready for this
ba-ding.
because it's big
Oh, you're trying
damage
to do
that
the noise.
happens periodically
Ding.
throughout the phase. At the same time, a bunch of green swirlies spawn around the room, dealing damage in a small circle and spawning coalesced venom orbs. These orbs deal raid-wide
Raid
ticking
floor
damage while
pop.
they're alive, and on Heroic, put a stacking raid-wide dot
You
on
already know.
everyone when they're destroyed. So the way you deal with these is by having a couple assigned players collect the orbs. You do that by running over an orb to pick it up, then run to a designated spot, and after a few seconds, the orb automatically
Mage
drops
duty?
at your feet. And we use the
Belt
world
to
markers
belt
as
brick your
rust
glutes.
points for the orbs. Periodically, the boss targets the current tank with Sever, a big frontal hit on the tank that also destroys any orbs inside of the frontal. But you need to be careful.
You know what?
I think that's cool as fuck. The way the
Yeah.
tank destroys the orbs.
Mm-hmm. With the frontal or whatever.
Yeah.
Because on Heroic, destroying
Makes it
too
more
many
seem
orbs
like
at
they're
once
just
puts
not
too
just
many
tanking,
stacks
you know?
of the
At
Yeah,
Malord
Like
66.
every other boss fight, it seems like this.
Full
Yeah.
frontal.
Seems like all they're doing is like maybe a tank swap for 1 minute debuff. That's about it on other ones. Maybe a little bit of kiting.
dot on the raid, which can get real scary for the healers. On PTR, hitting 3
Belt
or
to
4
belt,
orbs was fine, but
break
5
through
or 6
blue.
was getting
Holy.
a little
Hey,
bit
Gary.
crazy. And the tanks
Just
just
to
taunt swap
control it.
after every
I've seen this
sever.
one video.
Any orbs left at the end of the phase when Zul'Jan dies are instantly destroyed, so healers need to be ready for that too. The other big mechanic for phase 1 is
There
guillotine.
you go,
The
dude.
targeted player needs to move to the edge of the platform, and half of the raid needs to stand inside of the soak to help split the damage. Once the soak explodes, everyone needs to run out of the map.
Bro, this unholy. The holy DK's name is I am gooning. Like, bro, he didn't even try to do anything. It's just straight to the point. Another one's nut fast. What?
Massive circle. Raid-wide movement abilities and
These,
lock gates
these dudes are
super
fried,
great.
bro.
The reason you have half of your raid soak it is because on Heroic, the same people can't soak twice in a row. So just split your raid up, alternate who soaks, and make sure
I got
to
a
assign
priest
raid
named
movement.
Gunta
The last
Hentai.
2 minor mechanics are Venom
Gunta
Fang, which
Hentai
puts
is
a dispellable
insane,
poison
bro.
dot on a few players, and the axes that whirlwind around the platform. These just need to be dodged. Once Zul'Jan dies, all of the leftover orbs will explode, giving everyone a stack of the dot that the healers need to be ready for. Depending on how many orbs are left up, this can be a great spot for Link, Darkness, Rally, or any other big red PRs you have. Then Hexlord and Malacrast will spawn starting phase 2. The tanks will pick up Malacrast, drag him toward the world markers, while the raid stacks up behind the boss. Then get
I
ready for
support.
Dread March. The boss targets a few players with a mind control shield that forces them to walk toward the edge off the platform. Everyone needs to quickly break those shields and free the MC'd players before they walk off the edge. Each player you free spawns 2 ghosts that fixate other random players. The ghosts only stop moving when their
I'm
fixated
never
player
killing
looks
that holy.
directly at them. So those players need to lead their ghosts toward the world marker, stack them up, get away from
Fuck
the
that
frontal
shit.
zone, and then stare at the ads to freeze them in place. The boss will then cast Soul Sever, the new phase 2 tank frontal. The tank needs to aim the frontal through the stacked ghosts to destroy them. This is
This is
also
gonna
where
be
the
a
tanks are
very
going to
tricky
taunt
one, as
swap
you can
because
see.
the tank hit by
You gotta catch your ghost in front of the tank, then turn around and look at your ghost so you can freeze him so the tank can hit
I
him
want to
with the
heal
frontal.
Pashy while he kills it.
So it's like 3 parts to it.
We're definitely fucking that up.
Yeah.
We're fucking that up.
But that's kind of cool. So that only the tank frontal destroys those ghosts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Soul Sever spawns soul fragments that they need
Sheesh,
to
it's like
quickly run
salad
over
bar
and
from
collect.
Mana Forge.
If they don't collect all of their
Have
fragments in
faith,
time,
Kevy lol.
Milo said it's like salad bar for Metaforge. Have faith in Kevy. Oh, have faith, Kevy. Yeah, yeah. He doesn't have much faith for us melee. He might have more faith for everybody else though.
Oh yes, it is. Yes,
You
it's like
got me
Mythic
as a
Salad Bar.
tank
That is
and
correct. You
Darius
have to
lol.
face your thing. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't do Metaforge. So I didn't know what he was talking about.
They're dead. On Heroic, there's
You're
also an
dead.
ad that spawns and
Got
spams
me as
Whale of
tank and
Terror,
Darius.
which
Oh
fears
yeah.
the entire raid if it gets off. Ranged players need to instantly swap to the ad and burst it down before it hits 100 energy.
So we're
You should have a
dead.
few assigned players ready to
That's
interrupt
great.
this, but when it's interrupted, it jumps to a random spot in the platform, so try and wait until at least halfway through the cast before interrupting. And you just continue this loop until Malacrast gets to 1 HP, starting the intermission. During the intermission,
I am
Malacrast
gonna make
takes
that a macro.
99% reduced damage and starts
When
to
we
slowly
wipe.
resurrect Zul'Jan over 35 seconds. During this time, Zul'Jan takes
You're
100%
dead.
increased damage, so this is where you'll Bloodlust and blast Zul'Jan to try to lower his health as much as possible before Phase 3 starts. There's also like a million soul fragments that are trying to walk to Zul'Jan and heal him. Players need to run into a few of these to try and mitigate the amount he's healed, but each soul fragment a player runs into does raid-wide damage. This is another great time to use Spirit Link, Rally Darkness to try and stop a bunch of soul fragments without wiping the raid. Then it's on to Phase 3 where you're fighting both Zul'Jan and Malacrast and deal with a bunch of their abilities at the same time. The big thing here is the new tank frontal can destroy both green orbs and the Dread March mind control ghosts. So you're trying to get both of them stacked up for each frontal.
ID
Tanks will
Spirit
also need to
link you.
collect their soul fragments afterwards, so taunt swap after every frontal. Zul'Jan's raid-wide channel from Phase 1 now puts a massive healing absorb on everyone that the healers need to blast through. And you need to keep both bosses close in health because once one dies, the other one enrages. On normal, that's basically it. On Heroic, you still get guillotine, so the flow seems to be bouncing from one end of the platform to the other as guillotine happens. You're gonna have to collect.
Bro, this is so much more complicated than any other fight, bro, that we just watched.
Orbs while you're running
That's
from the
normal
blast, and also
WTF.
bring the mind control ghost onto the marker for the next frontal. But yeah,
That's
no
fair, like
guild,
you.
including ours, has public logs of a heroic kill on PTR, and the journal is pretty clear that this is going to be one banger phase.
I'll let Michael
If P3
Spear
ends
link
up
me,
being really
IRL.
difficult, I'll make a P3 only guide and link it in the description
How's the
and in the
mythic then
pinned
lol?
comment. And that's pretty much it. Here's a quick recap for you to review.
Yeah, Milo said, how's it mythic then? What the fuck? That was just heroic, bro. What the hell?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, they don't even got the Mythic guide out. Yeah, that's just gonna
They're
be insane, bro.
They're definitely gonna nerf that one. There's no way.
Wait.
Maybe not as many because it seems like pure chaos when all three abilities
Oh,
are
no.
going off, or whatever. All two, whatever.
Yeah, you got the
That's
ghost, you
good.
got the orbs, and then you still got the guillotine.
Yeah, and then
Mythic
yeah, there's those
everyone
circles
just gonna
too.
die. Holy,
Oh,
my brain is fried from that.
Yeah,
Goddess
Best performance
performing
SeaWorld dolphin
SeaWorld dolphin mechanics lol.
stupid. All right, what was the other video?
Go to.
At
click
Malord
on Season
66.
2 raid. And the
Goddess running
first
around
one
like
was
dogs to
Max.
catch balls. Dolphin noises.
A mattress
Just to
that
bring them back
responds
and
as you
wipe.
move?
All that to not get gear.
With Max.
Needs to be given to one of the bosses
At Airy
before
XD.
this like
So we didn't look at. You're gonna have to like skip because we didn't look at the.
And then Pashy guilts
Scissorak?
you out of
and
Urbis.
Scissorak and
Yeah.
Ulatek. Yeah, Scissorak and Ulatek we didn't look at.
Where's yours?
I'm not sure if he does Ulatek because it was the last boss. I'm not sure if the. But he also
Scissorak.
talks about like the shape of the raid and like which way.
dumb
he
as
thinks
hell,
that
man.
people are gonna
Wait.
go and shit like
You
that.
can't say no to Pashy Milo.
Okay. Actually, guilts you out of your base.
Kalamazoo,
Oh, dude.
my baby.
So we go to
Then
6.
we have to do backflips and burpees before looting a boss.
So we're gonna do 6s,
Pashy
and I'm
do
just
be
like,
guilted,
hey,
though.
dude, can you give me some that bisque gear? That it's my bisque, bro. And you're like
You
not
should
getting a whole
just
piece
watch
the whole
everything Kalamazoo uploads.
time. True.
Wait, how many bosses are in this raid? Scissorak is before Twin Fangs? Oh, dude,
Who's
I'm dumb
Scissorak?
as hell. Oh, that's so sad. I had it wrong on where they
He's
actually
beautiful.
were placed. Okay.
You're beautiful too.
So that means that Twin Fangs might be like tuned
Your
real
glutes are
crazy
too.
style, and the
He'll
coiled
always say
ult-
yes
or
to
not the
you,
coiled
beautiful.
Ultra, sorry, Scissorak is gonna
Scissorak
be.
is a
Oh, that's
cool-ass
so
fight.
sad, dude. Scissorak has sauce.
8.
Damn, they're
Okay.
gonna make Scissorak Rash Shock instead of like Sludge Fist. That's so sad. Dude, this boss has sauce, by the way. I'm actually really sad he's not later in the raid. Damn. Okay. All right, so this is the fight. So basically, all right, dodge some tornadoes. There's like a intricate tank
Can you
frontal
put that one
that
up a little
is
bit
some
more, Passion? 'Cause
combination of
it's a little low.
soloing plus a group
Oh yeah.
soak. That's not what makes this boss have sauce. Now he's gonna give like some puddles, and the puddles are like he
that?
spawns around him,
let's
but
go.
like potentially can be removed. So you'll notice here. Do you see how this thing has like 1 and this one has 3? This is telling you in the intermission where the winds are gonna come from and in what order. So let's see how they're actually doing this here. They're placing a circle that will knock back the entire raid when it is soaked. No way, there's no more math. Nah, it ain't math. Oh, then there's this mechanic. So this mechanic, as you can see, is going to make you go in a certain direction. So this guy has a circle, and it's going to shoot him in this direction. And if it otherwise was not stopped, or he couldn't port it or something, he would just fly off the platform and die. But what he's done is he's found another person. This guy has an arrow facing this way,
Oh.
and this guy has an arrow
That's
facing
kinda
this
fire.
way. And the fight
Fire,
works
right?
as it cancels each
Yeah.
other out. So you like spread out with this, and then you'll see you'll knock yourself forward. Boom! But because you hit someone of the opposite thing, you just don't go anywhere, right? On Mythic, there are 4 of these, 1 going in each direction. Okay.
Fuck
Now
my
you're
Chungus
doing more
life.
of this phase. Same thing. You're placing some puddles. Looks like rotating around the room.
You're already doing
and
it
then
hella
the
hard
intermission
now.
is going to start after this. Where he casts Dig In. This is a damage amp. You're able to hit him with a damage amp during this. And then if you placed puddles correctly, now you get to knock yourself. Basically,
for this,
someone
we
in your
do
raid is
spore.
going to hit one of these green things to knock yourself so no one gets knocked off from the winds. Okay, well,
No.
that
not
is
when you
not what they
spore.
did there is not optimal. But it works. They just almost got one shot, which will give you a dot and then keep you safe from the winds. And then they're going to get knocked in a different direction, which they get hit by this one, and now they're safe from that. Obviously, they're playing it safe. Basically, with good positioning here, you could just have full damage uptime hitting the boss during all of this. And then the winds will go the third direction, which you know where they are, so they planned for it. They get hit by the last one, and now they kill the boss. And if they planned correctly, these pools from P1 will be gone, but it looks like they didn't, so these pools are there for the rest, well, until the next winds happen. But basically, you could also have the pools be placed in a position where, they will get knocked off the platform if you deal with that. This is this is it. This is basically the fight. I think this fight owns. And I'm kind of sad it's not as far in the raid as it was going to be. I could see this have been like just a really, really sick fight. Are the wins different each time? Yeah. I mean, there's 6 potential spots it can come from. And you see them from what I saw with Kalamazoo earlier. Like, he doesn't really pan around the whole room, but like basically there's 6 potential spawning locations. There's one like here, and then it's off the screen, but it's like to the left over there. And then there's one on the opposite side of the room that mirrors that. And yeah, this is how you know, like, this wind, because it has 1 wind thing, is going to go first. And then there's another one you can't see that is 2. And then there's this one, which is 3. Dude, Kevin, I was just saying that. I gave the stream like a little bit of lore about the Heroes Hearth thing. I'm like, bro, you guys don't even know where this shirt is from. Like, we were fucking randomly sponsored by like a Heroes of the Storm website. And then also, like, dude, our first sponsor situation is just so fucking funny if you were there. The fucking GNC channel, man. Our Jaina kill is still on their YouTube channel. I didn't even know that. That's so good. Yeah, it didn't last very long. Okay, cool. So this is like not the second to or third to last boss. That's Twin Fangs, which is very sadness to me because I mean, am I wrong in thinking that like this boss just has more? Like, think about third to last bosses, bro. Like your Sludge Fists, your Nexus Princess Kaiveza, right? Like that's a spot where you can really cook. Like, that's a good boss. It can be a really good boss. It can also be a really bad boss. Shout out Fractalus, but it can also be a really good boss.
He's even dooming, bro.
And I feel like if you're gonna make
This
the
dude's
hardest
everyone's
possible
dooming, bro.
version of Siserac, it's just gonna be better than the hardest
do you
possible
mean?
version of Twin Fangs, especially because Twin Fangs is too.
Because he was like saying like, oh yeah, he's kind of disappointed, I guess, a little bit. Like he was hoping for something better. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they did
Target,
ult attack.
yeah.
They might have done ult attack.
Let me see. I see Coiled Altar. I see Coiled Altar. We just did that. That's like half. That's like a whole quarter of the video. Scissorak,
Heidi.
Twin, the Lost Explorers. Vashnik, and Tomb Sentinels, and Neck Zali. So I
Yeah,
guess
Ul attack will be like towards the end of the video because it's the last boss.
Hey friend.
If they actually do.
Ground. These things do passive raid damage when they're out, so you want to clear them. How do you clear them? You like a well-tuned version of this boss, you're probably getting murdered bad, at least on Mythic.
you want to go
You
through
have to
this
see
whole
all three
thing.
his chapters
The last
when they're
one.
out and some shit on the
Coil.
ground.
Wait, is Coil
These
Alter?
things-
Just skip it. Koi is definitely second to last.
a lot of mobs in the dungeon journal, so there could be some shit with that too. Obviously,
Okay,
I
so
haven't.
they didn't do
Everyone else?
the last boss. They didn't do a video for it.
Maybe
It's gonna
he.
be a surprise.
Oh.